afternoon, everyone. Joseph here, Vets Haul Junk Removal, Stafford, Virginia. Hope wherever you are, you're staying busy and making money in junk removal. I'm not actually working right now. Our work day ended half day today, but I find myself more and more choosing my off-duty clothing to be my Vets Haul Junk Removal sweatshirt. So much so that my wife demanded last night that I start paying more attention to my wardrobe and change it up. Don't always be wearing your work clothing, Joseph. And I told her, ever since I was in that grocery store checkout line and the lovely lady tapped me on the shoulder from behind and asked me if I did junk removal, and that engagement ended up in a really windfall of a hoarder clean out job, I was hooked, guys. And I think if every opportunity that you have to wear your company t-shirt, you should, because it is just one more way for you to gain attention for your business. That being said, talking about gaining attention for your business, Chris Benson, Vets Haul Junk Removal, Mooresville, North Carolina, killed it. He presented to a captive audience of 20 or so realtors. He got our name out there, guys. He has the promise of work. He also has some estimates lined up, and there's really a lot more, like some really amazing things that came out of this presentation to realtors that I can't go into right now, but you'll hear about it soon enough. Guys, if you are reaching out to realtors one at a time, that's good. You should be doing that. But that brings me back to when I was a military recruiter, and I would look at all of the other military recruiters working harder, not smarter. They were one at a timing it as well. They would, at lunchtime, they'd go to the high school, they'd individually approach, a student that, looked like they weren't actively engaged in anything, and they were doing the one at a time thing. What I decided to do was I wasn't going to do the one at a time thing. I was going to utilize my time in a more effective manner, and I decided to put together an anti-bullying campaign. And I approached the school board, and I pitched the school board the idea of allowing me to visit all of the high schools in the district, and everybody on my team, on my recruiting team, all of the military recruiters on my team were also tasked with presenting to as many classes as they possibly could with this anti-bullying campaign. It went off without a hitch. The school district loved it, and because of that, our team was the highest producing team in the following 2 years after that, all thanks to my idea of not one at a timing it to individual students, but instead mass communicating. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Guys, reaching out to realtors one at a time is good, but you really need to mass communicate. You need to get in front of these realtors, okay, a group of realtors, and utilize your time more effectively. Instead of talking to one realtor at a time, how much more benefit do you think you'll receive if you can speak to a captive audience of 20, 30, or 40 realtors? It is possible because it works. I'd really do appreciate those of you who subscribe to my channel, and those of you who have taken my idea and developed it and made it better. I want to give a special shout out to Matt Vick and Jojo, the Jojo in California, Sonoma County. I made some ads for them. I produced some really awesome junk removal ads. And what they do is they get a stack of these ads, they printed them off at your local printer, and they take a bowl of candy and they walk in to the real estate offices and they put them on the counter. And any realtor who sees their ad and is so inclined will pick it up. Now the realtor has Sonoma Hauling's information right inside their greedy little palms, guys. That's what it's about. And even more so, I want to give another shout out to Jeff Glass. Jeff Glass had a really awesome idea. What he used to do, I'm not going to take the credit from Jeff and say that I turned him on to this technique. If anything, I learned from Jeff Glass. He probably had been doing this technique long before I had even heard about it. But anyways, he would take cakes. He would take cakes and his business card and just put these cakes, wherever in the realtor's office or whatever type of business he was visiting, and the cake would just draw the many individuals to it. And then either through a business card or a flyer, they would get Jeff's information in their hands. Guys, you must be innovative. You got to think out of the box. The spoils will go to the victor. The individual who is more cunning, who is more innovative, okay, who thinks in more of a tactical manner. It's good, guys, to reach out to realtors and apartment communities, one at a time. But let me back up. I guess this technique really works better with realtors more than anything else. But you gotta be innovative, guys. You have to be open to using other ideas that work. I was speaking to George Beal this morning via Facebook, VIP Recycling and Junk Removal in Manassas, Virginia. He said something that is very common, guys. He says, well, I'm going to start working on that, presenting to larger groups of people this year. I just got to get over being shy. Guys, I get it. But one of the greatest fears that the average person has is the fear of speaking publicly. Guys, it's okay. If you mess up, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to get business. But every time you present, every time you face something head on that you're clearly terrified of, guys, you break down one brick of that wall of fear, brick by brick by brick by brick. Every time you do a presentation, you will get better, okay? But I also want to encourage you to utilize the members of your team, guys. It's great to be a business owner and a leader, but the sign of an effective leader, guys, is an individual who knows, who is talented enough to utilize the talents of those around him that he doesn't currently possess, okay? Jonathan Schaefer, Vets Hall Junk Removal, Norfolk, Virginia, is really good with the written word. Me, not so much. So what do? I tap him for some projects that he is best suited for. An effective leader knows how to put a team together and how to utilize the talents of his team. So if you happen to have a clean-cut young man who works on your junk removal team who, isn't afraid, isn't intimidated by talking to a group of people, hey, then use that individual. Put that individual in front of the group of realtors and let that individual do the talking for you. And, that idea was presented to me by a question from J.B. Shanley, another junk removal entrepreneur in these many Facebook groups. And he said, what if I'm not a good talker? Does it have to be me? I said, no, it doesn't have to be you. And I gave him the same advice. Pick somebody on your team who's not afraid of speaking in public. And if a realtor happens to ask, why are you speaking? Why not, the owner of the junk removal business? Well, because I'm not speaking because this is going to be his job, okay? This young man, this clean-cut young man is going to be the one who does the speaking for us, who travels to the various realtors' offices. He's in training right now or something like that, guys. But you should be there. If you have someone speaking for you, you should at least be present in the room and introduce yourself as the owner of the junk removal business. I really love it when I give these ideas out to you via Facebook or YouTube or what have you, and then you guys take the ideas that I presented to you and you develop them, guys. You make them more effective. You better them. It warms my heart, people. It really does. One of the greatest joys that I personally have is when my information, my tips, my techniques, my guidance is put into use. And you guys are out there making a name for yourself. And I had just a little teeny tiny bit to do with it. That being said, guys, get comfortable with mass communicating. It's okay to reach out to realtors one by one. That's a very effective technique. But I have just given you the keys to the kingdom, guys. Start getting used to, getting comfortable with presenting to large groups of individuals. That's the quickest way to build your business and to junk removal success. If you like the things I talk about, would you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Additionally, I'd love to read your comments. Please leave those. If you want to be made aware the next time I make a video, hit the bell icon. If you're in Northern Virginia and you need a jacuzzi, a play set, some furniture removed, you just want to reclaim your space, reach out to the Junk Removal Company powered by Veterans and Patriots, Vets Hall Junk Removal at 540-657-VETS. That's 540-657-VETS. I'm Joseph, owner of Vets Hall Junk Removal, and we are on the move, making things happen. Hooah! Talk to you next time. See ya.